That have never been told. Get behind me, Satan. We gon' chant a psalm a day, chant a psalm a day. Greetings and welcome to Chant a Psalm a Day. Give thanks for this day, for this is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice in this day. I ask that the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart are all acceptable in the sight of the Most High. It may not be acceptable to you out there, but I ask that it's acceptable to the Most High, because let me tell you, that is who I serve. That's who I serve. That's who I adore. That is who I live to the Most High. So let's get into it. This is Psalm 45. For those of you who were born in 1945, this is your Psalm 45. If you are 45 years old, this is your Psalm 45. So this is a psalm to the choir master according to Lilies, a maskil of the sons of Korah, a love song. So this psalm is a love song between you and your God, you and the Most High, in love with each other, trusting, giving thanks, and adoring that one that you trust. That's the Most High. So let's get into it. Psalm 45. I heart overflows with a pleasing theme. Okay. The theme. What is this pleasing theme? I address I verses to the King. So when I'm chanting this psalm, it is to the King of Kings, the Lord of Lords, the overcomer of the tribe of Judah, elect of Jah self, and earth's rightful ruler. So this is who I am addressing this psalm to, okay? My tongue is as the pen of a ready scribe. So your tongue is ready to chant songs of adulation and adoration to the Most High. In verse 2, so the Psalm's title is The Most High's Throne is for All Time. And we talked about the throne of God yesterday in yesterday's Psalm. So we are revisiting the throne of God and who God is in this Psalm today. So verse 1 is talking about your heart is overflowing with a pleasing theme. You're addressing the King with a tongue that is as a pen of a ready scribe. A scribe is someone who writes, who takes notes. Now, when you're in class, you better take notes. In verse 2, the psalm goes into explaining who the Most High is. The Most High, you are the most handsome of the sons of men. Grace is poured upon the Most High's lips. Therefore, the Most High has blessed I for all time to come. So let's translate this, because it's speaking of you. You are the most handsome of the sons and daughters of men and women. Grace is poured upon I and I lips. Therefore, the Most High has blessed I and I forever. So let grace be on your lips, okay? Because in that action of using your lips and your tongue to speak of the Most High and not talk about folks behind their back, you are blessed for all time to come. So in verse 3 now, it gets even more specific. Gird I and I sword on I and I thigh, O mighty one, in splendor, in the Most High splendor and majesty. So in verse 4 now, it explains what this majesty is. In the Most High's majesty, ride out victoriously for the cause of truth and meekness and righteousness. Let the Most High's righteousness, right hand, teach I and I awesome works. Okay? Exclamation mark. And in verse 5, the Most High arrows are sharp in the heart of the king's enemies. So the king has enemies, obviously, but the arrows are very sharp, and it's in the heart of the king's enemies. The people are falling under the king. So in verse 6, it explains that the Most High's throne is for all time to come and is a scepter of the Most High's place, this queendom and kingdom. And that is a scepter of uprightness, righteousness. For the Most High have loved righteousness and despises wickedness. Okay, so we see what the Most High loves and what the Most High doesn't love. And I talked about wickedness yesterday. So go and subscribe to this channel so you can see the videos of the previous Psalms, because we talk about that in the Psalm in terms of what wickedness looks like, and it's oppressive. Okay, when someone is oppressing someone, when there's domestic violence, when someone is abusing someone physically, sexually, intellectually, telling them that they're not good enough, messing with their intellect, their emotions, and isolating them socially, that is wickedness. And I talked about that yesterday. So the Most High doesn't like that, doesn't love that. Even the word hate is in there, and I don't use hate. So I don't even hate the wicked. I despise the wicked. I do not want to be around wicked folks. Okay. So therefore, the Most High, I and I Most High, has anointed you. You all out there have been anointed with the oil of gladness beyond your companions. So this morning, I'm using some oil on my scalp, and then I knocked it over and it spilled in the sink. I'm like, no. And then I was reminded, your cup overflows. That's a bless. You don't cry over spilt milk. You remember that your cup overflows. So I shouldn't have had it on the edge of the counter, knowing that I'm anointed already. And I have been from such time ago. It's for me to be aware of that or not. And it's not about being higher than anybody else. It's not being, above anyone else. You are seeking what is above. So when people are not seeking what's above, they are going to call you think you're above everyone else, but it's the fact that they are low. They want to stay low instead of seeking what's above and being with the Most High in that glorious, space that is mercy and righteousness and sacrificing. So the Most High has anointed I and I beyond I and I companions, and I and I robes are all fragrant with frankincense and myrrh and aloe and cassia. So we have this fragrance of ancient, and I love to burn my frankincense and myrrh. I love to burn my incense and my rock incense and have it just overflowing in the room, beautiful and grace. So from ivory palaces, stringed instruments make I and I glad. Daughters of kings and sons of kings are among I and I ladies of honor. At the Most High's right hand stands the queen in gold of Ophir. So listen, O daughter, okay, and know and incline the ear. Forget your people and your father's house, and the king will desire your beauty. From such time ago, the king is your Lord. Bow to him, to the king. The people of Tyre will seek favor with gifts, the riches of the people. And verse 13, all glorious is the princess in the princess's chamber with robes interwoven with gold. Okay. And verse 14, in many colored robes, the princess in her chamber is led to the king, with her virgin companions following behind her. With joy and gladness, they are all led along as entering the palace of the king. So in verse 16, in place of your fathers shall be your sons. You will make them princes in all the earth. I will cause your name to be remembered in all generations. Therefore, nations will praise or will give you adulation for all time to come. Selah and Selah again. So, this ending verse 17, it's culminating in what is going to happen. What is the cause? I will cause your name to be remembered in all generations. Remember, in the psalm yesterday, it talks about the wicked's name will be forgotten. But in this psalm, it talks about the righteous. They will be remembered in all generations. So here ends the psalm for today. I give thanks for this psalm because it is Psalm 45. It had 17 verses, and it is, in summary, talking about the Most High's throne is for all time to come, and looks at this throne as a royal throne. It's in its royalty, we see the Most High in that royalty, in that king and queen space, the Alpha and Omega, beginning without end. Righteousness has no end. It's going to keep on keeping on, whether you are on the bandwagon or not. So it's best to get on it, get on the Zion train, and come on and be Isla and lively up yourself with shouts of joy to the Most High. So that's the word of the day, joy. My joy is unconditional and complete. I choose joy. When people choose hostility and strife and arguing, I choose joy. Okay, I de-escalate the situation. So in the word today, Monday, April 8th, we look at the word joy. Okay, the state of the world will always be in flux, subject to the ebb and flow of shifting fortune and circumstance, right? My joy is not dependent on worldly conditions. Like when the world is this way, I'm going to be sad. No, I'm going to still be joyful because I know there's a future in that salvation of the Most High. So my joy is not dependent on these worldly conditions. My joy is inside, but also part of an aspect of I and I divine inheritance. So you have inherited this joy and this knowledge that the Most High is real and does wondrous works. So as I and I grow in righteous knowledge, so you're growing. Everybody doesn't grow at the same pace. So I don't look down on someone who is still drinking the milk of the Bible or drinking that of the Bible and have not graduated into the knowledge of this new birth and this renewal. That's where they are at. That's where the Most High has them. We are not to judge folks. We are not. Do not try to force people into your belief or your knowledge and awareness. Just live, and you will be that example of what you want to share to people. So that's what I do. I stopped forcing people into eating right, into living right, into I'm not going to force you into doing the right thing. This is what you want to do, and that for you is for you. What is for I is for I. So as I grow in this righteous knowledge and live more assured as the divine being that I am, so I more easily access my joy. You can easily access joy once you have that knowledge to stand firm in righteousness, and you live more, determined and more, I don't want to use the word confident, but you are living more assured. You are sure of yourself and who you are and what you are contributing or giving, not I don't want to use the word what you are giving to your fellow brothers and sisters in Christ. Okay. So no longer swayed by the inevitable ups and downs of life, I feel joy and bring joy no matter who I am with, what I do, or where I go. So as I go through my day to day, that is what I'm bringing. My not conscious, but my mind awareness is on that. How can I bring joy to someone's life today? And even during my lower points when I may not feel happy, because sometimes I may not feel happy, I still have joy. Joy is still present. Joy is I companion on the human journey, right? And with I throughout all the seasons of life, this is where my joy is, and it's gonna stay. So this is where that comes in when people speak, I choose joy. I choose joy because sometimes I may not feel happy, but I still have joy. Okay. So in John, the book of John, chapter 15, verse 11 talks about, I have said these things to you so that my joy may be in you and that your joy may be complete. So the words that are spoken in John 15:11, the Most High is talking through Jesus in terms of, I have said these things to you so that I joy may be in you and that your joy may be complete. So it's a powerful dynamic because as humans, we have emotions and we sometimes are not emotionally intelligent, and we make decisions based on emotions. I feel this and I like this and I want this and this is what I feel, and then we end up in a situation where that decision may not have been the best. So instead of riding off of that emotion, we want to be emotionally intelligent so that we can make decisions that are not based on our emotions. So the psalm today, as we finish up, because I have to get to class that I'm teaching, your throne, the Most High's throne, is for all time to come. And we know that the Most High sits on a throne, okay, and watches and looks, sits high and looks down low and what's going on. So be on the right track in terms of your decisions to be joyful and your decisions to be honorable and have integrity and honesty about yourself. So I love the Psalm 45 in terms of looking at God as enthroned, right? Enthroned on high. And then we have the word today, joy. And then our verse today, let's get our verse today. And Our verse today, let's see where that's coming from today. It's coming from Romans 5, chapter 10. So I am sharing all these different scriptures so that you can go look in those scriptures for yourself. So Romans 5:10 says, "For while when we were God's enemies, we were reconciled to God through the death of God's Son, how much more, having been reconciled, shall we be saved through his life?" Okay, so this Romans is talking about, it's using the word if, and I don't use if, I use when. So in terms of being God's enemies, I don't want to embody that. I don't want to be an enemy of God. I want to be reconciled to God through this death, and not just the death, but the life of that Son that was risen, that rose again. And that is the resurrection. We have to be resurrected, and we have to change the way we think and the way we do things, and make that focus on the Most High. That every single minute of the day, we are doing things that are pleasing to the Most High, not displeasing. Because when you are doing things opposite of the Most High, you become an enemy of the Most High. And that's what that's what Romans is talking about here in chapter 5, verse 10. You don't want that. So be reconciled. Know that the Most High lives, and that in that life, we too have life. And how much more are we going to have? We will be saved through that life of the Most High, through what we call resurrection, right? That resurrection. So if you grow up, eating certain things, you're going to stop, because you have been resurrected into the life of the Savior that saved you. So therefore, the former things have passed. The former things have passed, and you are releasing yourself to that former things, releasing and renewing in the strength of the Most High. And in that strength of the Most High, the things that you once did, you don't anymore. Okay? And it's going to take some time, because a lot of things have to be shed. A lot. So let's seal it up. And I have to, oh my goodness, it's 8:30. So we're going to end here. And I thank each and every one of you for joining into this live, every rise, to chant down the wickedness and to rise up righteousness. So thank you so much for joining. As we end, I always ask that the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart is acceptable in the sight of the Most High. All the time, for all time to come, I give thanks. Thank you so much for joining. Do good, walk good, speak good, think good thoughts, and we shall be here again, chanting a psalm. Chant a psalm a day. Keep the devil away. That's right.